Hi, I'm Josanne Wright Callender, the author of the Heavy Little Garbage Truck picture book and educational system. We've been looking at a lot of ideas these last couple of weeks on how to think for yourself. And I really loved this one article that I found by Z. Hereford. And it was entitled How to Think for Oneself or For Yourself. I, I really thought this would be a perfect topic as children are going back to school to keep um, our children free from making poor choices and poor decisions and learning how to think for themselves, which is a skill that they'll use, a life skill that they'll use throughout their lives. So we dug into it just a little bit last week, or last week, Friday, talking about a definition. And it seems like courage comes from an old French word or Latin based word meaning heart. And so I thought about that, and it occurred to me that, you know, in teaching these skills, which actually is social skills and social emotional learning skills, um, we, all of these topics and all of these items that I'm going to bring up dovetail back into social skills. So, what I was thinking about is that in Miss Hereford's article, she stated that thinking for oneself means that you really have to develop courage. And as I was thinking about courage, it dawned on me that I love adventure movies. And I don't know if you're like me, but it can go from a classic like Raiders of the Lost Ark to current Marvel Universe features like Black Widow. And the box office demonstrates that a lot of people feel the same way that I do because you could see it in how many people go to those movies or stream these movies these days. We like watching heroes, and heroes typically have courage. So, what is that main element in courage? Well, the heroes and these individuals, actors portraying the heroes, typically face an unlikely situation or an environment, one that they did not foresee, and they have the mindset to be successful, to get through it, make the right choices no matter what. And so, as we defined courage as the heart of a person, we have that mindset, the purpose, and the spirit to succeed in doing what appears to be the right thing at the time. We've done our cost analysis chart in our minds, and as we go through life, it becomes a little bit more of a swift type of process. But believe, it's always going to be a process. So we have to teach our children that it's a process, and that courage has been described as a muscle, much like all the other character traits. The more you use it, the better you get at making these choices that take courage. So we actually get to exercise this muscle in the crucible of life. Things are not going to always go well, and we don't always see an easy way out that'll net the results that we're hoping for. So we have to teach this to children that no matter what, they have to try to do their best. And I found out in coding and teaching coding, basic coding, to some students this last semester, one of the tutorials mentioned that making mistakes is okay. And this is how a person moves from one point to the next and finding what does work. And so we're teaching children to make calculated risks to achieve a desired outcome. And that's courage. So Mrs. Hereford included in her article, I'm going to include the links to these articles in my description box below. But she mentioned a favorite psychoanalyst, a psychologist that I used to read all the time, Maxwell Maltz, and he is the author of Psycho-Cybernetics. He pointed out that we must have courage to bet on our ideas, to take the calculated risk, and to act. Everyday living requires courage if life is to be effective and to bring about happiness. So, this is how life must be lived in order to have an effective and a fruitful life. So, when we can teach our children that quality, I think that we are giving them a huge leg up on their futures. So, we'll continue this conversation. And until then, please share, please subscribe. Thanks so very much for being with me this morning.